Wizard Workshops, working from home today. This is the anatomy of the prototype, the 4-phase Flow a Rainbow notebook. So the cover I did last night, I stuffed up a bit by the guillotine not having the right protection. The cover is bright and so on, but the glue wasn't perfect. I need to brush the glue for gluing the end paper on. Obviously, retro staining the blue top line was not a good idea, so I have to make sure that the stain on the edge of the book, the pages, that staining I did separately, and it wasn't enough blue on the top, so I stuffed up when I retro blued it a second time. We have a text block here which I wrote in one manic session yesterday morning, and of course I made the text block a bit wide, so it's a bit too close to the edge, and on the end sheet it's even closer, so I have to restrain my width and possibly trim it back a bit. That's the nerdy notes, and that's sort of for people who are more interested in going into some depth into the process theory. But and that of course is an alternative fractal representation of the 4 phases, including the status quo as the heart of the tree. So belongs to. So the question is, do I tone down the rainbow in the background? Probably should, just so the writing is a bit easier to read. So that's a thing to do on the to-do list. I'm also noticing that because I pre-stain the edges and then I have to trim the book after I've bound it, glued the cover on, glued the end sheets on, I then have to trim 3 sides. That left a white line, of course, where the cover went. So a quick edging with a black felt pen would probably be a viable alternative. This is a handmade book after all, and it's not too hard a job to do that. So all in all, it's shaping up. The pages can be look pretty nice. Need more on the bottom and the top. I think I was a bit nervous about dyeing those the block of pages at the top and bottom, but obviously it needs a bit more. And the little cheap foam roller that I used was quite adequate to the task. It went pretty well on those edges, I would say, that being the exception that I tried redoing it. It seems to go darker, and still wasn't. I think the blue is definitely not. It's perhaps just darker and needs a bit more thinning down with methylated spirits. But overall, anatomy of a prototyping, there can be a dip, like as Seth Godin says, the dip. It always happens. You get discouraged, you think, what am I doing? Is it worth it? Etc., etc. Am I barking up the wrong tree? But overall, I think the dip is speaks misleadingly, and in fact my initial enthusiasm is justified. I think this is colourful, exciting, conceptually exciting, and usable no matter what sort of stage you're at with your planning and your theory. You can use it just as a colourful notebook, or you can really get to grips with the love, beauty, truth, freedom, the input, ideas, plans, and output format for your planning. So watch the space. It will be available in SRA. This is an SRA 5, which is quite a generous notebook size. It's quite a good size. And the smaller notebook is going to be, at this stage, I think will be A6, so less than half the size of that. So it's a little pocket notebook that I'll also be selling on wizardworkshops.store. I'm just getting used to these new domains and things, but Shopify will be our store. Wizard Workshops is the name. .store, yes. Oh well, I hope to see you on the store. Over and out.